What's going on, man? It's your boy DJ Lenny Love. Welcome back to the channel. I've been a little busy. I haven't done any videos in a very long time. So this video is just to really talk about the Kc12 speakers in full. I do have 4 of them, 2 black, 2 white, and just what I've gone through over the past few months, or since I got them. You know, I got them literally when they released, or right when they started hitting the guitar centers here in the Atlanta greater area. But yeah, man, let's dive into it, man. Let's talk about the Kc12s. Let's talk about the things the issues that I've had with them. You know, this is something that everybody I've seen online, or not everybody, we'll just say a lot of people had issues with the feet sliding. Now I called them, no problem. They sent out the new feet, but of course we know sometimes with the factory feet on there, once you get to taking those factory screws out, it doesn't always go in the right way, man. But I couldn't get them out. Like, I have 4 speakers. I think one speaker, the old feet went off and the new feet went on with no issue. And that was on my black pair. The second black pair, I just couldn't get them out, but I mean, I just said, listen, you know, I got the mats that I can put them on, and it is what it is. The white ones is what gave me the problem. I don't know what changed between the white and the black speakers. I'm in the middle of backing up hard drives right now too, so if you see me looking ahead at the screens, I got 2 different computers, making sure my backup computer is caught up with my current computer. I haven't done it in a couple months. And I got a nice little wedding run coming up soon. But anyway, the white ones. The first one I got on, I had the issue where it didn't come out. So pretty much like one of the white ones, I've got 2 new feet, 2 feet that didn't go on. But this one, for some reason, it gives me that. You ever had a chair or a table where one of the legs are shorter and it gives you that little wobble? So I was experiencing that with the Kc12, one of my white ones. Now the second one that I started working on, the very first one, I got the screw out easy, but I went to go put a new one in and it just wouldn't go in. It's something that was fitting it in there. It fell off and I heard it rattle, but I have no idea what it is. I don't know. I haven't taken the speaker apart, none of that. But I called QSC. They opened up a case for it. It's still under warranty, and they shipped me new ones. So it's like, you know what? You know, it's still a new product, I guess. So they're doing a lot of things in-house out in California at their home warehouse. So what they told me is, hey man, ship it to us. We'll send you 2 new ones. I know you can't really go too long without them, and I really can't. So when the new ones get here, I'm just gonna swap them out and go with the new ones, man. And he said he's gonna update the firmware, and I'm gonna circle back to the firmware. But yeah, like, I had one foot for the last 2 weddings I've done. I've been just putting the foot on there, the rubber foot on there, and just sitting it down on the little rubber mats that I got from Walmart or wherever, and it performed right. It wasn't wobbling or anything like that, but there was no screw. So when I pick it back up to load it up, I have to remember to pick the foot up and put it in the KC cover bag in the pocket. That's where I've been storing them at. But shouldn't have to do that. These speakers are pretty much $2,000, $2,100 a piece, you know. I mean, at the time I think I got them, I called them before inflation hit, before the tariffs, I guess. If that's what caused them to go up, who knows. But they're definitely not the same price from launch date that they are now. I looked at them online, especially my KS118 subwoofer. I want to say that joker is like $2,200 or $2,400, and at the point that I got it, it was like $19 or something like that. So it's like a $500 increase on that subwoofer. Like I said, I don't know what prompted that, but hey, I'm glad I got in beforehand. Saved a couple bucks on it, I guess. But yeah, it's been from a sound standpoint, no issues. Like, I feel like I've brought the sub out just to be on the safe side, because you'd rather have it than not have it. But I will say that most of my weddings, they dance in the headspace of maybe between 175 to 250. I want to say in this stint here, I've had one wedding that hit up to 275. It wasn't over the, I guess if you count the staff of everybody that was working, it got over the 300 mark. But as far as guests, you know, people on the dance floor at one time, I think the most I had was like right around 275. If we're just keeping it a buck on that here. Let's get these USB-C in this new computer. But yeah, I love them. The sound, like when I called QSC, he gave me a really deep conversation about how to make everything work, especially since I have the Touchmix 8 now. I've been having some issues with that one too, but I bought it used. Like I literally caught it for like $400. And I traded out. I think I sold my old Yamaha mixer. So I ended up coming out of pocket like maybe like $200. So I caught it on a deal. It was used, but it looked pretty good shape. The only thing that I've noticed that the right channel for some reason is lower than the left when I'm going on my master main outs on that mixer. He told me that sometimes, you know, drummers can use these as a pre-mix before they send it to the house mixer. Like, say for instance, if I got a drummer on stage for a band, my drummer has all his mics and his send in his Touchmix, and he sends that left and right out to a main mixer board that goes to what the audience hears. Now, the problem with that, in some cases, that main board, somebody, if they don't know what they're doing, they may be sending the plus 48 back to the Touchmix, and it could cause issues with it. And he told me that the caps cost maybe like less than $10 to fix. So it's a cheap repair. It's not anything hugely noticeable, but from an ear of somebody who knows music or listens to a lot of stuff like that, or if you're in the wedding game and you're pretty much gonna fine tune your sound to make sure that's the last of your problems, yeah, you'll notice it a little bit. So I was having to bump up my right side a lot more than the left side. Not a lot, but just a little bit to make it even. But it's a minor bug. It's not a huge effect. No complaints out the Touchmix. I'm having a good time with that. But back to the KC12s, they're sending in new subs. So I have no issue with them. The subs work just fine. It's just the feet, you know. And on my black ones, they're good. They still scooted a little bit, but, you know, talking to him, just rough, you know, put some sandpaper on the bottom of it. It'll be fine. It'll grip the floor just fine. The highs, the mids, the lows, I'm able to push them a lot harder. So I switched from my Bose Pro16s to these. And the reason why I was getting away from my Bose Pro16s is because I felt that gig fatigue with them. They sounded great. You know, I had paired them with my Bose Sub 2s. I had 3 Sub 2s. And I would put 2 subs and stack them on top. Well, a sub on each side and stack the Bose on top. And it pretty much handled most of my crowds. But what I did start noticing is, like, throughout the night, talking on the mic and having music, it'll do this duck feature. Where I'll duck under and the music will go low, and then it takes a few seconds for it to get back up to the loudness that it was. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But what I will say is I don't have that problem with the KC12s. I can push them all night. I can push. They're going to hit at the same level most of the time. I haven't seen that duck feature on these. They said, you know, I saw some video online that said that these do the ducking feature too, to keep them from blowing or clipping or something like that. But I haven't had that issue. The sub, let's move over to the KS118 sub. It's a bad piece of equipment, man. It's a not bad in a bad way. It's a bad mother. Yeah. So that 18-inch sub, it kicks, and it's just too much bass if you're using it in a crowd less than 200 people. You don't really need it. These KC12s, the low ends on them, they carry, they throw a long distance, and they hold up throughout the night, man. And I have no complaints on them. And then the customer service with me calling in about the problem with the feet, They sent the new feet, no problem. They're gonna send me new speakers for the white ones, and told me if I have problems with the black ones, just give them a call up and we'll probably do a swap out on those too. But I doubt I'll have to do that for the black ones. And they're gonna do the firmware update. Now here's where I got a little bit. I don't own a PC at all. And I noticed this when I was going through the firmware updates, right? So I do not own a PC in my house at all. Like I don't have everything's MacBook. I've got 2 MacBooks right here that I'm cloning, my library on. My wife has a MacBook. I've got iPads. They're Apple products, and I was literally none of that worked when it came to doing the firmware update on it. So if you're doing a firmware update on the Kc12s, do it. It's definitely recommended. But definitely have a PC. It's just not for me. I don't know if anybody else is out there having that problem, but for me, I could not get it to do the firmware update on my Mac. It just never recognized the speaker. Not one time. And then it could be a speed thing, because they said if the speed's too fast for the port on there. All of my MacBooks have USB-C output, so I was having to do like a USB-C to USB-A adapter and then back to USB-C to the back of the speaker to try to play with the speed, but it never worked that way. I had to go ahead and just have a friend of mine, shout out to DJ J Smooth. He brought up Adele over here, and we updated the firmware on all 4 of my speakers. He had actually 2 QSC K12.2s that he had never updated the firmware on because he didn't even know about it. So we ended up doing the firmware update on his 2 QSC speakers as well, which were just the K12.2s that he has. He's like, bro, I didn't even know about a firmware. Like, I didn't even know there was a port on it. Where's the port on this? I don't even see a USB. But on the K12.2s, it's behind the knob that you turn your volume up and down on. So the volume control, that's where it's at on there. So as you pop that off, and behind there is a USB input on there that you can just plug in and update the firmware on the speakers. Supposedly firmware updates are helping with, the technology, the brain in there, helping the fan kick on earlier, keep the speaker from overheating, keeping the amp from working too hard. It's, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a chip in there. It's all smart stuff beyond my knowledge, but I trust the science on it. So I'll just, keep on doing with the upgrades, what they're supposed to do. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, back to the speakers, man. I have no complaints, man. Everybody who has heard them in person, they're impressed. And they're like, dude, what are these? And I was like, they're QSCs. Well, a lot of the folks that are asking me, what are they? They're not really in the field. They're upgrading their speakers. They probably got installs in their church or installs in their club that ain't going nowhere. They've had it for years and it's still working. So it is what it is, man. Like I said, I love them. I have no complaints out of the QSC mixes at the QSC speakers at all. They were definitely everything I needed in the upgrade. It was everything I was looking for. More power, more wattage, more headroom for me to operate at these weddings, especially when I'm trying to get my dance floor as high energy as possible. So it worked out. I have no complaints, man. Like I said, the only thing we had with the problem with the feet, the customer service team, they fixed it up for me with no issue. They sent me some new ones out. Well, they're sending me new ones out. I haven't gotten them yet. But I've got the emails where the ticket is submitted, and it'll be at the pickup place here in Atlanta, Georgia, for me to swap them out, drop off the old one, pick up the new ones, and we're in the game. I'll just re-register the new serial numbers to make sure I've got my warranty in on them. But no complaints on the QSCs, the black, the white. The only, oh yeah, everybody's talking about, yeah, they don't look quite white. They're not like that pure white. Yeah, they're not, but by the time the lights go dim, nobody's noticing. But for pictures and stuff like that, I haven't had a complaint about them. Like, hey, they're not that quite white. But They look good. They look good, man. They sound good, and no complaints, man. To the Touchmix, I love the Touchmix a lot, and I came from a Yamaha mixer, the MX10GU or 12GU. I don't know. It's a very common mixer. It's that blue and black mixer that a lot of people had, and it's a beast for what it's worth, right? The thing about that mixer is, like, it doesn't have, like, the QSC has these 4 aux outs on here, and you can control them however way you want to. You can send what you want to them, anything there, you can pretty much handle it. So the way I do it, my main outs, left and right, are going to go to my full range speakers. I have those for my QSCs, or if I have to daisy chain them, the right, the left, and I'll go out the right or left on the speakers to go to the next one. So if I need to use all 4 of them, I highly doubt I have to use all 4 of them at one time. If I need 4 of those, I'm probably going to bring in a professional sound team where I don't have to lift a finger on that, because that's a lot to load in. Aux 1 and 2. I use aux 1 and 2 for subwoofer left and right. And it's pretty cool that I can do that, because that means I can control my subwoofer levels separate from the full range speakers. So I may need a little bit of bass, or I may need a lot of bass, depending on the space that I'm in. And excuse me, I can cross it over in the mixer. So I don't really have to send a signal that's wrong. But the cool thing about the KS118, it's got a built-in crossover anyway. So if you could take the highs out, anything above 100 hertz, therefore you can take that out in the mixer, but it's going to be taken out anyway by the subwoofer itself. But I've got it set to where it takes it out in the mixer side. That's going to aux 1 and aux 2. Aux 3, I have that for my videographers, because we always got videographers at these weddings, right? Videographers at these weddings are asking for an input that they can put in and record voice, speeches, everything that they've got going on, right? So when they're doing that, like, I plug it in and I can send select channels to them. So I can send just the mics. I was like, hey, do you want the music? No, I don't really need the music, but if it's in there, it's fine. I was like, no, I can control that. Like, I can just do the mics and just send the mics to you. He said, yes, just send the mics to that. And I can send the mics to the recording for the videographer, so he can rip that MP3 file and use it for his editing. I thought that was a pretty cool feature to have. And then my 4th aux output, that's for my booth. So I can control my booth levels separate from everything, you know. So and then I can control whether the mics come in through the booth as well too. I like to hear myself when I'm DJing. A lot of DJs tell me they don't even send their mic through the booth, but I want to hear myself. So I do send my mic through, and also we got the feedback wizard. It's probably the standalone, one of the best features that I've seen on this. And this is an old piece of equipment. I want to say this came out in like 2014 or 2012. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Last firmware update was before 2020, but it works. So if I've got everything set up in my booth the way I want it, I will send my mic through my monitor speakers. I feedback wizard that bad boy out, and it eliminates the feedback. So no matter how much I'm talking in here, would the levels go up on in my DJ booth and my monitors, I don't have that feedback. There was a thing where I used to have my Qsc12s a little bit closer to my table on left and right, and it would cause a hum in the middle when I'm turning the music up real high on that mics, because I use my Shure SM58 wireless mic system. It's the dual, was at the BLX 288, but it's got the SM58 wireless mic. So it would cause this hum in the middle, and I noticed that, so I would have to pull back on the mic every now and then, and unless I'm talking on it. But once I do that feedback wizard, it can stay up, and I don't have to really worry about the feedback or that hum when I'm turning the music when it gets to that real high energy part of the night. So feedback wizard, the multiple aux outs, I can only imagine the what you can do with the 16, because the 16 has additional outputs, and the 32 is even more. So yeah, man, shout out to the feedback wizard. Shout out to the multiple aux outputs that you can control and do what you want with those. But yeah, the QSC overhaul I did on everything, it was probably one of the best decisions I made when it came to my wedding setup. I've always used QSC amps back when we had passive speakers, but I never got into the QSC powered speakers when I got into the power speaker game, probably because I just couldn't afford it at the time. You know, I started out with the EV ZLX, moved up to the EKX system, moved over to the Bose towers, and then now I'm on the QSC towers, the column arrays. So this business, man, it's quickly, you're always evolving. You're always adding and changing stuff. So I will say the next thing I'm going into deep here is lighting. I'm already wireless on my lighting, but it's time to go fully battery powered on everything. That'll cut down time with setup and things of that nature, but that's for another video. But KC12s, the black, the white, no complaints at all. I love them. If I needed more, I'll probably do that again. But yeah, man, they're a beast. If you're thinking about getting them, no complaints, man. I don't see an issue with getting them. I haven't heard the EVs in person, the 70s or the 90s, but I'm hearing those things are beasts. Like I still haven't been by a Guitar Center that had them on display that I can really listen to them, but I'm hearing some very good things about those. But I can't complain. That 3,000 watts max, the RMS is higher, the dedicated 1,000 to the tower and 2,000 at the sub. They rock out, man. My settings that I run mine on are, I want to say, I do the default, and then I put my sub in deep. It gives me all the bass I need, man. It hits hard, it hits low, and if you need that extra, get the KC or the KS118 sub out and wheel it on in and turn it up. I just did a high school homecoming dance, and I had two of those with I had two of the KC12s with the sub under the table for a homecoming dance, and there was a lot of kids in there. And it was high energy the whole night. High bass. No problem. No peak. I don't think I've seen the peak on these one time since I've been using them. I don't think I've seen it one time. And the only time I saw it was when I was doing the video with the Bose Pro16, and I had to go ahead and push them right to the peak or right below just so I can compare them at that very, very high volume. And it was night and day between the Bose Pro16 and the KC12. Which one took it after you pushed them to the point where they were right at the peak? Crazy. Insane. So again, my name's DJ Lenny Love. I just wanted to drop this video. It's been a while. I guess I could put together some more videos of gig logs out here that I have done over these last few months. I'm just running behind. It's just real busy. So I got maybe a week or so that's free. Hopefully I can get these speakers swapped out in this week, and then it picks right back up. Shout out to October and fall weddings, man. I mean, looks like I'll just be catching up on a lot of these football games on Saturdays in the highlights or recordings or something like that. But it is what it is, man. It's what we do. We're wedding DJs, man. We come out here and we make sure the crowd's good. But I'm signing out. I think I've got my files onto the backup laptop. It looks good, and it's mirroring the first one. So I'm about to do a time machine backup on both of them. Call it a night. I just wanted to get on here and record this video before I went to bed tonight after I was doing these backups. But no complaints on the QSC systems that I have now that I've upgraded to. For the future, I may add a second KS118 just to balance it out, but don't think I really need to right now. My parties aren't that big. You know, I'm doing mostly corporate events and weddings. There's no need for it right now. If I need a second one, I can probably rent one just to keep it balanced and go from there. But other than that, man, it's a win out here. No complaints. But yeah, DJ Lenny Love signing out. Hit that like button, subscribe. Tell me if you have any other questions about these speakers, of what you would do, what are you using it for. If you like them, don't like them. If you have problems with the feet, like I said, man, just give them a call. QSC has been pretty solid with the customer service on this so far, so I don't really have any complaints about it. They've taken good care of me in this whole thing as far as the feet and the speaker scooting. But all else fails, I really didn't have a problem with the Walmart mats that I put under there. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm signing out. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel. It's DJ Lenny Love. Holla at y'all.